Like, what's important to you when you pick a role for a movie?
I have no plan, Henrik. I really just read what I like, and I'm slow. And I just read one that someone sent me a pretty long time ago, and I called and I said, "Do you remember that thing you sent me?" Yeah, I do remember. Well, it's really good. Really? Yeah, it's really good. So I was really surprised. So I just like what I like. I have no plan. It's not like I play a bad guy in this movie. I don't think I need to do a emotional rom-com about myself maybe I have a physical handicap or a deformity and I overcome it. I don't plan that way. Here's a joke. This is in the courtship and marriage.
For our listeners that can't see, Bill,
this is on the table.
Yeah, he's reading a book.
Well, they can.
There's a book that's on the table called Make 'Em Laugh Again, which tells you that there was already a book called Make 'Em Laugh. And it tells some jokes. And I'm just picking this one. I haven't read it, but it's under the courtship and marriage part of the book. More important, it says, "My father," said the young woman to an admirer, "is a very good businessman. When he was quite young, he managed to make a large fortune. Would you like to hear how he did it?" "Certainly," said the young man. "But tell me first, has he still got it?" That's a young man who wants to know if the girl he's dating, his father still has his money. Okay.
1928.
I thought I think the joke is good. I did a poor job of reading it.
No.
Because you 2, 4, 3 are sitting here crying your eyes out.
By the way, we're in season 5, and this is the first time anybody's reading out of that book. So
yeah,
you should have once an episode.
That's what we were saying
read
before.
An excerpt.
This might be a new thing now.
A new segment. You need to cut everything down to TikTok-sized bites.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this could be the bite.
We should tell the audience the other jokes we read were funny.
Yeah,
it was just that one.
The
Yeah,
first
the others were really good.
We were cracking up in here before.
Yeah.
Eating some so-called veal pies had made the people of an English town sick. And the authorities called upon the maker of the pies to explain. Under pressure, he revealed that he had used meat other than veal in the pies. "What's in them?" "Rabbit meat." "What else?" "Horse meat." "Is that so? In what proportion?" "Half and half." "What do you mean by half and half?" "1 rabbit, 1 horse."
That's a good joke.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's a good joke.
That's not bad.
Well, you've been acting for, what is it, 50 years?
I mean,
Do you still enjoy it as much as you did when you started?
yes, I really do. I really got in the last. I told you I got excited again about movies, and I got so excited again. I don't know what it was that happened. I can't remember what happened, but all of a sudden, I really liked my job. I really liked doing it again. I got really excited about doing it, and part of it was doing this job that Pete and I did. It was really a lot of fun. I've kept working with some really good directors, like Wes Anderson calls me up every once in a while, and Sofia Coppola calls me, and Jim Jarmusch calls me. But this was this one came from outer space, and it was different and fun. And the movie The Friend, that came from nowhere too. That's just because I worked with Naomi Watts once before, and we got on great, and she told them to hire me. So I all of a sudden, I really liked doing the job again. I've been lazy about it, and I'm not really, I've described myself as like a bass that doesn't really swim. It just sort of sits there and waits for food to come down the river and right into my mouth. But I got so I really like the job, and I want to do the job, and I want, I really like making movies. It sort of suits I used to joke it suited my attention span, like 90-second takes and stuff like that. But I like the job of it. I like working as a team. It's kind of a gypsy job. You're thrown into a situation with like 150 people very intimately for a short period of time, very intensely. And, you got to get it done. You have to get it done. And then you go on to the next job. And I can do that. I like that. I like getting in, just really getting in chewy with people and seeing what we can do in a short period.
You said like you're now back in love with your job and the work. What happened to fall out of love with the work?
Well,
before?
I think I didn't really. I mean, I think the business got weird. The business changed a great deal. It used to be like I don't even know who's in charge at studios anymore. I used to know not only them by name, but could have a conversation with any or all of them. And I think just the way movies kind of took a hit, COVID certainly killed things, and the strike certainly did. And streaming is not a great positive for movies because people make movies just to put them into a library. They're not really about showing them in movie theaters anymore, which I like that. You know? That was a sort of a community experience. Movie theaters closed and so on. But
yeah.
I think if there were some great movies, and I think this could be one, people could get interested in going back again. I mean, I don't want to say that like going to movies could be hip, you know, but it's like, you know,
It's
everybody's on their
everybody's the movies.
on their phone, everybody's on their couch. Why not do something like a little cooler and go out in the world and like sit in a space and have a big damn thing of popcorn and
and you know they're making background movies, right? Have you heard about this?
No.
Background movies and shows.
What's that?
So streamers are now trying, because my buddy's a writer and has had meetings about this. They are making movies and shows that are so simple that you could be on your phone and look up at any time and know what's going on. And you'll see it. You'll see some of them because every time they talk to the other character, they'll say that they'll be like, John, yes, Pete, da 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 da.
Wow.
And that rather than like be like, how do we get people off the phone and make something really special? They're like, let's just make a movie that we could play while people are on TikTok or whatever. So
it's like we're
talking
in
about
trouble.
We're very close to like the hospital bed situation where there's a toilet built into your hospital bed and a television set, a phone, and food that comes down from the ceiling. You know, you shouldn't have to go anywhere.
Food that comes down from the ceiling sounds actually pretty cool. We'll just keep that one. The rest suck. But...
Hey, crunchy Cheetos.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't know. I think there's got to be like some pushback, a reversion to art and live and social.
I think people are a lot smarter than people think, and audiences are hungry for good stuff. There's a reason why we're rewatching The Sopranos a million times, or you know, when one show comes out, they're like, everyone's like, "Holy shit, have you seen it? It's so good." Yeah, you know, people are starved for good stuff. You know, people are smarter than we give them credit for.